So
what do you mean by contact irritants?
So contact irritants. So let me just teach you. So this is my brick wall analogy. So I didn't come up with this, but I find it really helpful for teaching families about eczema. Okay. So our skin normally is designed to be like a brick wall. So the bricks are like our skin cells.
Yep.
Okay. Surrounding the bricks is the cement type stuff. And in our skin and healthy skin, the cement type stuff holds moisture in. Okay, so it keeps moisture held in so the skin doesn't get dry, but it also works really well as a barrier, protecting things like irritants and stuff getting in our skin. Okay. In eczema skin, as we said earlier, combination of the immune system, the environment, and genetics, the skin barrier doesn't work the same. So it's impaired. It's not functioning as well. Okay.
That's a really good explanation.
So what happens is we don't have enough of the cement type stuff for the first thing.
Yeah.
So the cement type stuff that holds the moisture in isn't there as much as we need. So the skin gets then dry. Dry skin is then itchy skin. We scratch our skin because it's really impossible to not scratch itchy skin. We scratch it and we can introduce irritants through the brick wall that shouldn't have got through. What happens is because that barrier is not working, irritants, dust, dirt, sand, all the things that we get exposed to, those foods that I talked about, tomatoes, citrus, get through that brick wall they shouldn't have got through. The body produces red angry areas in response, which is what we call inflammation or flares.
So contact is, what you mean by contact is that it's just those things that are getting through straight away, irritating.
Yeah.
Other things are things that are triggering it from another way. But people who don't have eczema then would have itchy skin, put some cream on, moisture barriers back up, but eczema people don't.
Yeah, so healthy skin, generally you don't need to use moisturizer because your skin maintains moisturizer itself most of the time, and it's protecting it from all the irritants of the outside world. But in eczema skin, there's a break in the skin barrier, so we've got stuff that can get through, which causes localized inflammation and sometimes localized rashes. But it can also, we don't produce enough of the cement type stuff which holds the moisture in, so we get dry and itchy. The other thing that is also important to know in eczema, before we go into the management principles about it, is to do with the bacteria staph. So in healthy skin, we've got a mixture of different bacteria on our skin. It's totally normal for us to have these different bacteria on our skin.
They're a good thing in some cases, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
In eczema, we've got higher levels of the bacteria staph. So our microbiome, so the different types of bacteria is out of whack essentially. So we've got really high levels of the bacteria staph. Staph is responsible for lots of the skin infections we can see.
Yeah, staph infections is a thing. I've heard of that. Yeah.
And as well as a lot of the inflammation we see in eczema, because we've got access through the brick wall for it to get through. And so we're producing a whole lot of inflammation and risk of infection from that, which we don't see in healthy, intact skin.
And staph infections or staph bacteria can get agitated, you say, then by the scratching.
Yeah, so when we've got, so we can introduce, when we're scratching, we annoy the skin, we can introduce more things through the brick wall, resulting in a whole lot more flares. But also because we've got these gaps between the skin, we've got access for bacteria to get in. And we've got higher numbers in the first place.
Okay. While we're on this topic about scratching, you were just to recap, you said that scratching can cause infections with the staph bacteria that's present. So scratching is just inevitable for itchy skin. Do you have recommendations on how, especially children, could manage an itch with eczema but not scratching it? Do you have any tips and tricks?
So the itch in eczema, so that's one of the main points of our management principles. So the itch in eczema most often comes from the dryness in the skin itself. Which the dryness is what's inducing the itch. Once you start scratching the skin, it's really hard to stop and you start doing damage and our risk of infections and stuff is higher. What's needed because the skin is dry is that's where our moisturizers come in. So again, if you're thinking about the brick wall, if we're using regular moisturizers, we're filling these gaps essentially in our brick wall, which is hydrating it, locking that moisture in. We're therefore not getting the same level of itch and we're able to break some of that itch scratch cycle.